Today's lesson is all about St. Pete's and Tampas. These are the blocks that we use in Shuffleboard, and they're named for these historic towns where the game was born. The idea of this Shuffleboard strategy advice is a score without a block doesn't do you any good. If I just toss up an 8, you're just gonna knock it out. And then we're pretty much in this place that we call push and giggle. Push and giggle doesn't do you much good. I toss up an 8, you knock it out, I knock you out, you knock me out, we're kind of nowhere. So the only thing that's worth anything is a score with a block, all right? But how do you ever get a score with a block if the moment you put up the score, they knock you out? And the answer is, you put up a block first, and then you hide behind it. There are 2 different types of blocks in Shuffleboard, and one of them is on your opponent's side of the board. That's called a St. Pete. So here's an example of a St. Pete. That's a pretty good one. Wow, you guys impressed with that? That's pretty good. All right, so the idea here is that if you don't knock that out, all right, I'm gonna shoot all the way from the outside, what we know as the 4 spot, all right? The 1 spot, the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4 spot. Shoot all the way from the outside and try to tuck it behind that disc. Perfect. Now the idea here is because black is not able to come onto yellow's side of the court to shoot, yellow winds up with a score with a block, all right? And if I get it right, black will not be able to see it and it'll be hidden behind my St. Pete block. So the other type of block is called a Tampa pilot. And that pilot exists on my side of the board at the tip of the 10. Just barely on my side of the board. Here's a good example of a Tampa pilot, all right? Just at the tip of the 10, barely on my side of the board. And once again, if black doesn't knock that out, yellow shoots all the way from the outside and hides behind that disc. Okay? So the Tampa pilot, the St. Pete pilot, which one do you use when and why? Generally, we find that a St. Pete pilot is a much less risky shot to shoot. The reason being, if you miss your St. Pete a little bit too far towards the alley, no big deal. You just have less room to hide behind it. But look what happens if you miss a Tampa. Let's just say that black is trying to put up a Tampa on its side of the board. That's a perfect one right there, okay? If black misses it 1 disc length, 6 inches in that direction, he winds up giving yellow a St. Pete. And if black misses it 6 inches in this direction, he winds up giving yellow a Tampa. So there's a bunch of different reasons why you might choose to put up a Tampa or a St. Pete, but I would say that until you get the drift of the court right and the speed of the court right and you feel really comfortable, for a beginner, it makes a lot of sense to start with St. Pete's because they're much more forgiving. This is when the game becomes fun. You know what I mean? This is when you're playing Shuffleboard for real, is putting up blocks and then trying to hide behind those blocks. And the game becomes really, really fun when you're starting to play with this level of strategy. So that's a little bit about St. Pete's and Tampas. Have fun out there, everybody. Good luck to all the players.